नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भगवते सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Hare Krishna. So I will recite the verse. Draupadi cha tadagyaya patinam manapekshataam Vasudeve Bhagavati Hekantam Matirapatam. Draupadi cha tadagyaya patinam manapekshataam Vasudeve Bhagavati Hekantam Matirapatam. Draupadi cha tadagyaya patinam manapekshataam Vasudeve Bhagavati Hekantamatirapatam. Hare Krishna.
Draupadi cha tadajnaya patinam anapekshitam Vasudeve Bhagavati Ekanta Matir Apatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Draupadi cha tadajnaya patina manapekshatam Vasudeve Bhagavati Hayakantam Matir Apatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Draupadi cha tadagnaya patinam anapekshatam Vasudeve Bhagavati Ekanta Matirapatam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Draupadi cha tadagyaya patinam anapekshatam Vasudevi Bhagavati Ekantamati Aputam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Draupadi cha tadagnaya patinamanapekshatam Vasudeve Bhagavati Ekanta Matirapatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, shall we go for word then? Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas, saw and tada at the time, Agyaya, knowing Lord Krishna fully well, Patinam of the husbands, Anapekshatam, who did not care for her, Vasudeve, unto Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, Bhagavati, the personality of Godhead, he, exactly, Ekanta, absolutely, Matihi, concentration, Apa, God, Tam, him, the Lord. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Draupadi also saw that her husbands, without caring for her, were leaving home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and attained the same results as their husbands. Purport. When flying an airplane, one cannot take care of other planes. Everyone has to take care of his own plane. And if there is any danger, no other plane can help another in that condition. Similarly, at the end of life, when one has to go back home, back to Godhead, everyone has to take care of himself without help rendered by another. The help is, however, offered on the ground before flying in space. Similarly, the spiritual master, the father, the mother, the relatives, the husband, and others can all render help during one's lifetime. But while crossing the sea, one has to take care of himself and utilize the instructions formerly received. Draupadi had 5 husbands, and no one asked Draupadi to come. Draupadi had to take care of herself without waiting for her great husbands. And because she was already trained, she at once took to concentration upon the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The wives also got the same result as their husbands in the same manner. That is to say, without changing their bodies, they reached the destination of Godhead. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur suggests that both Draupadi and Subhadra, although her name is not mentioned herein, got the same result. None of them had to quit the body. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Larita Shri Visakhanvitamsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarvasya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavani Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktapinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. First of all, I thank you all for attending this morning's Bhagavatam, and then thank you for giving me this opportunity for my own purification, and another opportunity to glorify the devotees of the Lord. And before I speak anything on this verse, I would like to take blessings and permission from all of you, all of my seniors. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So I will read the translation again. Draupadi also saw that her husbands, without caring for her, were leaving home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and attained the same results as their husbands. So we already saw in previous verses, like the chapter itself is the Pandavas retired timely. The Pandavas already on Sunday, I think Kavli Prabhu's class, he said about how they they situated themselves completely. One line I read from 48, verse 48. But the Pandavas, being completely washed of all material contamination, attained that abode in their very same bodies. So they already left, and then we saw Vidur also left. So here, almost at the end of the chapter, we're talking about the wives of the Pandavas, especially Draupadi. So I took this as an opportunity to glorify or to talk about Draupadi in this verse today. So as we all know about the birth and her pastimes, Draupadi's, but I will just repeat for myself. So we all know that Draupadi was born of a sacrificial fire that King Drupad had performed. And if we go to the story, it will be long, but actually Draupadi was not born like a little child or anything. She was like from fire. She just came out young, beautiful lady. So to the background story, Drupad and Dronacharya were best friends before, but somehow the story, they become enemies we heard a couple times like how they became enemies. And then so Dronacharya sends Arjun, not Arjun first, he sends Kauravas, like 100 sons of Kuru, 100 brothers. They go, they cannot, they get defeated, and they were captivated by Drupad. And then the Pandavas turn comes, and then Arjuna goes and he single-handedly captures King Drupad and brings to Dronacharya, and Dronacharya makes like his kingdom half, all those things. And so when Drupad saw Arjun's prowess, and he had secretly desired to have a daughter so that he can marry her to him. So although the Havan, the sacrifice he performs to get a son to kill, who is able to kill Dronacharya, following son Drishtadyumna, Draupadi also appears from the Havan Kunda. But that was the same time when this burning of the house of Lak in Mahabharata, that happened the same time. I mean, so the news was spread like the Pandavas and Queen Kunti were all killed in the Lakshagriha event. So, but Drupad was like not ready to accept that. He had like some doubt, like Arjun is still there. So he arranges this Draupadi Swayamvar, where he puts this condition like, okay, like, whoever can do this, like he piercing the eye of a fish who was hanging on the ceiling, but the one who is going to pierce the eye cannot look at the fish on the ceiling. He has to look at the reflection in the water pot in the ground, and that way he has to pierce that eye, eye of the fish. So he put this condition, which was very suitable for only for Arjuna. So all of the princes, kings from different kingdoms, like even Karna and then Duryodhana, everyone, they were there. So, but back to Lakshagriha event, like Vidur had given some clue to Yudhishthir in Mleksha language, it is said. So he was given clue, so they were saved. They get out, somehow they get out of the Lakshagriha, and they were not dead, but 5 other, I think they were some Sudra or something, I forgot, they were killed in there, but not them. So they were living kind of incognito in the forest that time. And then they also, the 5 Pandavas also go to the Draupadi Swayamvar. So long story short, finally we know the story. And then Arjuna wins the hand of Draupadi, so they come back to Mother Kunti, to the forest again. So in jubilation, then Yudhishthira Maharaj says, "Mother, see what a great boon we had got today." And Mother Kunti, without even looking at them, she says, "All right, my dear boy, just equally share amongst you your brothers, like as usual." So that's how this Patinam from our sloka is here, like Draupadi cha tadagyaya Patinam. Patinam means Draupadi is single here, but Patinam means he had now 5 husbands. The word, that time the words were not like, not simple. So what do you say, like to respect Kunti's word. And there was like very different speculations, or what I say, like many versions of why she was why Kunti's word came true, or why she was given 5 husbands, all those kinds of things. I'm not going in that. Just anyhow, she was married to 5 husbands. So, and then one of the story I remember, like when we read the glories of Purushottam Mas, in that also we can read that Draupadi was the daughter of Shej Medhavi in her previous life. And then her mother dies when she was very young. And Shej Medhavi was very focused on austerities and all those things, so he doesn't care about marrying or like those kind. But she was getting like, you know, to her age to get married, but she doesn't get married, all those kind. And then he I don't remember exactly, but he takes sannyas or he dies something. And then this daughter of Medhavi gets very anxious, and then she performs austerity, like severe austerity No, before doing austerity, Durvasa Muni, who was a friend of his father, says Medavi, he happens to come there and he tries to help her. And he says, like, if you worship or perform Purushottam Mass Brata, and then all your desires will be fulfilled, all that kind of thing. But she doesn't take it serious, and she says, like, she blasphemes the Purushottam Mass. She says, like, are you like, you're going to trick me? I know this mass is called Mala Mass, and you are telling me to perform austerity and this, like, blah blah, all those things. So Durvasa Muni, being feeling very piety on her, he doesn't get angry on her, but he says, like, since you blasphemed Mala Mass, Purushottam Mass, you'll get the result. And she loses her all wealth or beauty, everything. And then she performs austerity to his Lord Shiva. And like after long austerity, and then Lord Shiva appears, and then she was so, like, ecstatic that she couldn't hold herself. And she's like, when she sees Lord Shiva, is like, I need husband, I need husband, I need husband. Like, she tells five times, and Lord Shiva, so let it do. That is one version. And there is another version also, like, she was the daughter of Nala and Damayanti. So we're not going on all this detail, but anyhow, now she's married to 5 husbands. And but in our culture, Draupadi is regarded as a virgin lady, even though she had 5 husbands. And I still remember, like, when we were kids, we used to recite this name of 5 Panchakanyas. So in that, Draupadi is also there. And yesterday only I was looking for the reference. I found it was in Brahmanda Puran 219 something. The prayer is like, Ahalya Draupadi Kunti Tara Mandudari Tatha Panchakanya Smaranityam Mahapataka Nasini. It means whoever one should forever remember the Panchakanyas, who are the destroyer of the great sins. And then Mahabharata stories, back to Mahabharata stories. Later, Draupadi was lost in gambling game. We all know. And then she was forcibly dragged into the assembly. Dusasan tried to disrobe her, like before all those Visma, all those noble people. And then Srila Prabhupada, I was hearing Srila Prabhupada class also, and in this same verse class he gave in Los Angeles, he says, so here, I'll read what he said, his words. So here, all the five husbands, how much responsible they were, because their one wife was insulted. They declared the war. Battle of Kurukshetra, and killed the whole family. Similarly, Lord Ramachandra, his wife was kidnapped, Sita, by Ravana. So Lord Ramachandra is God. He could create many millions of Sitas, but no, for that one Sita, war was declared against Ravana. And the whole family, dynasty with kingdom, everything was finished. And then Srila Prabhupada further explains about the role and responsibilities of wife and husband for each other in this class. And then he says all about like how husbands should be, how wives should be. And then he says, but when one is going to retire, that is another thing. Retirement sannyas, like we know our usual order of human life, brahmachari, 4 orders and 4 ashram: brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. And then Srila Prabhupada again further says, but for women, she has got 3 positions. Position means protection in every stage of life. First stage by her father, second by her husband, and third by her sons. And then back to our verse again here. So, but here, Draupadi, even though Subhadra's name is not in the verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Sarata Darshini also said that Subhadra's name is not there, but it meant her also. And then they both of their sons were killed in Mahabharata war, and now the husbands were leaving. I mean, already left without caring for them. So, and in the purport, we see that Srila Prabhupada has written this line like, I always used to hear, fly your own plane, fly your own plane. But today I got this verse where Srila Prabhupada really said, uh, he wrote, when flying an airplane, one cannot take care of other planes. Everyone has to take care of his own plane. And if there is any danger, no other plane can help another in that condition. So in this connection, Srila Prabhupada, there is one room conversation between Srila Prabhupada and his disciples and other guests. So one lady asks Srila Prabhupada, and that, like, out of nowhere, she asks, like, when one is too old and with too many responsibilities, what can one do? She asked that question. And then Srila Prabhupada, he says, there is no responsibilities, all false, Maya. Everyone is maintained by God. It is our false conception that I am giving protection to anybody. That is false. Just like a man is diseased and we are giving help, medical help, first-class physician, first-class medicine, still he dies. But if God desires that this man must live, then even without your medical help and physician, he will live. Then where is your responsibility? And then back to our purport again. And the other second line, he says, similarly, at the end of life, when one has to go back home, back to Godhead, everyone has to take care of himself without help rendered by another. And Srila Prabhupada further says, actually, we cannot do anything. And therefore, this so-called responsibility is mine. That is Srila Prabhupada saying. So our real responsibility is how to realize God. In Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna, he says openly that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Saranam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayasami Masuchaha. Give up all other forms of religion and simply surrender unto me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So, and then Srila Prabhupada also quotes in the class he gave on this verse, he quotes this story of the birds, like we heard many times also. But so he says that one hunter was hunting birds and he spread his network. So when the children of the parent birds, they become victimized by the network. I mean, they are in the net now. So when the parents came, they see, oh, my children have been caught up with the net of the hunter. So mother becomes very overwhelmed and she goes to rescue them, and she also becomes victimized. Then the father was intelligent. He says that my children, my wife, they all have been victimized. And if I foolishly go to save them, then I'll also be victimized. Let me go this away. And then Srila Prabhupada says, take sannyas and go, no responsibility. Back to our purport again. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada again writes, after this, the help is, however, offered on the ground. Offered on the ground before flying in space. Similarly, the spiritual master, the father, the mother, the relatives, the husband, and others can all render help during one's lifetime. And while crossing the sea, one has to take care of himself and utilize the instructions formerly received. So here, the Pandavas, including their wives, were also, I mean, they got all those instructions. I mean, we will see in fifth canto, it's coming, fifth canto, that there is one verse like about the responsibilities. It's not that you don't have any responsibilities. Here Srila Prabhupada is talking about the responsibilities at the time of quitting body or responsibilities at the time of taking sannyas. But before that, we have other responsibility, like Rishabdev is giving instruction to his sons. He says that that verse, the famous verse, Guru na sasyat, Sojana na sasyat, Pita na sasyat, Janani na sasyat, kind of. So the translation is like, one who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. So in this verse also, there is a word like Krishna, I mean, Ekanta Matir apatam. So here also, so it shows that the Pandavas, including the wives, Draupadi, Subhadra, and others, they were completely dependent on Krishna. Um, um, and I was trying to remember the verse where Lord Krishna says, like, anyone who is completely dependent on me, to them I carry what they like and I preserve what they have, in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter. And so in the purport to that verse of Rishabdev, where he says, like Guru Nasasat, and the Srila Prabhupada gives some example, such where such mother, father, spiritual master, and husband were rejected, who couldn't save one from impending dangers of birth and death. Can you guess any examples? Like someone who left his father, rejected his father, not left, I mean. Anyone?
Prahlad Maharaj?
Yes, he rejected, not rejected, but like looks like that is the one example Prabhupada puts. And then someone who rejected his spiritual master.
Bali Maharaj?
Haribo. Bali Maharaj, yeah. And then mother. This might be a little bit.
Kapila Muni gave instruction to mother, but he didn't reject her.
No, he did not reject.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
That could be, but he didn't reject. He tried to follow.
Yeah, but he was kind of gave up, right, when he thought she had humiliated Advaitacharya. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of. But that is not stated in that purport where Srila Prabhupada was giving the examples. Dhruva Maharaj rejected not his mother, but his stepmother.
Stepmother. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you. And then to our purport again, remaining purport. So Draupadi, here, where is the remaining purport? Draupadi had 5 husbands and no one asked Draupadi to come. Draupadi had to take care of herself without waiting for her great husbands. And because she was already trained, she at once took to concentration upon the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The wives also got the same result as their husbands. In the same manner, that is to say, without changing their bodies, they reached the destination of Godhead. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur suggests that both Draupadi and Subhadra, although her name is not mentioned herein, got the same result. None of them had to quit the body. Hare Krishna. So, time for us to check, like, am I ready to fly my own plane? It's not easy, for me at least. That's why maybe I got this class. And then we should note the point here that Srila Prabhupada wrote for Draupadi because she was already trained. The word trained, heavy. She was trained. And Srila Prabhupada in his class, he boldly said that they knew Pandavas and his wives, their wives. They knew that ultimately Krishna is everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. So anyone who understands Krishna is ultimate Samahatma Sudurlabha. He is rare. That person is rare. And Srila Prabhupada in that room conversation in Paris with that guest, he says, nobody in this material world can transcend or overcome these laws of material nature. But if one is devotee, by the mercy of Krishna, he can. That is the sum and substance. And therefore, he said, therefore, we have no responsibility. If we have touched fire, then it must burn. It must burn. So when the death comes, we must go. No other choice. So here, so it leads to think or to say that we must train ourselves. And it is never too late to train, to learn. And then there's one, I just remember one prayer by King Kulasekar in Mukundamala Stotra, where he says, we have to, he doesn't say train, but I just added train in that. Like he says we have to train our tongue to sing the glories of Kesava. Mother Vindavali, I'll sing for you. Jibhe kirtaya Kesavam muraripum Cheto bhaja Sridharam Pani dvanda samarchaya chuta katha Shrotra doyam tom shrinu Krishnam lokaya lochana dvaya hare Gachangri yugmalayam Jigrghran mukunda pada tulasim murdhannamadhokshajam. It means we have to train our tongue to sing the glories of Kesava and train our mind. Cheto bhaja Kesavam muraripum cheto bhaja. So train our mind to meditate upon the enemy of Mura. And then train our hands. Pani dunda samarchaya. Sridhara, to worship Sridhara, or we can say even the Lord of Sri. And then train our ears to hear the glorious pastimes of Lord Achyuta. And then Shrotra, Krishna, Lokaya, Lochana Dvaya. I mean, train our eyes to gaze upon Krishna, Sri Krishna. And train our legs to go to the temple of Sri Hari. And train our nose, Zigra Ghana Mukunda Pada Tulasim. Train our nose to smell the tulasi offered at the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda. And then Murdhannam Adhokshajam. Bow down. Train our head to bow down to Lord Adhokshaja. Hare Krishna. I hope I can take it into my mind. So let's have a dessert now. Dessert time. We'll hear from Srila Prabhupada. It's not complete without hearing with his own voice. So I'll try to share my audio clip. He kind of summarizes this whole class in one audio clip. Share sound here. We can see it, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'll play it now.
Now we can.
This is our misconception. We are thinking that this paraphernalia, my country, my community, my countrymen, or my family, my wife, my children, and so many things, mine. So I'm thinking that they will give me all protection. No. Therefore in the Bhagavad it is said, Dehavatra kalatradishu asasuravi. He knows that they will be finished. They cannot give protection to themselves. What protection they will give to me? This is knowledge. This is not. Dehavatra kalatradishu atmasanyeshu asasuvapi pramata tasya nidhanam. He knows that they will be finished. Pasyanapina pasyati. He has practical experience. Still he does not see. This is called Maya. Maya means thing is one and he is thinking otherwise. His soldier, the so-called soldier, the protector, will be finished, but he still is depending on him. Suppose a bird is flying with his family in the sky, but if there is some danger, then no other bird can help you. You have to help yourself. That's an aeroplane. Say dozens of aeroplane is flying. But if one aeroplane is in danger, no other plane can give him any help. It will fall down and crash, finish. So we have to take care of ourselves. Then we are thinking, my country, my community, they're all busy in this way. But they will save me. No. When death will come, Nobody will save you. Remember that. Your challenging God is dead. When God will come and make you kill it, nobody can save you. So we are so foolish, we are thinking that God is dead and I shall continue my life and my wife, my children, my countrymen, my nation will save me. That is not possible. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
It's good.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantharashram Bhagavatam ki jai. So with this, if there is any additional points or corrections, anything, please.
If anybody has questions, comments, realizations, I think all of these classes lend more to realizations than questions, but I'm sure Shyamagori Mataji is ready to answer any questions.
I didn't say questions, by the way.
But yes, please go ahead and just unmute yourself or raise your hand.
I just like the phrase and the purport Srila Prabhupada said. Like Draupadi has 5 husbands, and he has one cannot fly 2 planes at the same time. One had to fly his own plane. So that's very nice. I'm just wondering, like you said, since the Pandavas, they were very exalted devotees of the Lord, is not automatically that the Draupadi also by that tapasya, she will get all the pious activities of the husband? Why she has to leave also?
Is that a question, Mother? I'll try to reword your sentence. Draupadi's husbands, the Pandavas, were very exalted devotees of the Lord. Why is Draupadi had to leave? Is that a question? Or Draupadi should have got automatically that she didn't have to do anything?
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking for this. There is a famous saying that whatever husband performs that all pious activities, the wife gets 50%, all those things. But I couldn't find any reference for that. But I found one verse in 6th canto where it says when there was kind of dull situation or something, Brahma created a woman from the better half of the men. So that is why this thing started going on, saying wives get 50% of all the pious credits of husband, but husband has to take all 100% of the sins wife commits, kind of. And so yeah, that I also thought that point, and I tried to find the reference, but I couldn't find. So, and the other thing is, as Srila Prabhupada said, everyone has to fly their own plane. So since we are being individual soul, Pandavas also, they didn't congregational. I mean, they didn't go together. Yudhishthira decided for himself only. He said, I am going to leave. Since Krishna is not here, I'm not going to leave here. I'm going to go. So, and then similarly, each brothers, they are I'm also going like that. Not that we Pandavas, we go and we don't think of anything else. So, and they were trained, like Srila Prabhupada said, Draupadi. Draupadi was already eternal associate of Lord Krishna. Her another name is also Krishna. So she was already a great devotee and the eternal associate of Lord. And then so she saw that her husband's leaving, and then she thought this is the time. So everything goes to the training part, trained. So they're leaving, so I have to leave. That's my point. I don't know if others might have different points or perspectives. As Kaivalya Prabhu is there. Hare Krishna Karvali Prabhu, if you have anything to add on this.
No, Mataji, I do not have anything. Actually, yes. I do not know the like half thing goes to the wife's like husband's punya goes half to the wife. I first time I heard of before, but from the people, not from any devotee, So yeah, that's a little surprising.
Yeah,
and
that's
other
what
thing I had something, like when I was reading, that all Pandavas left, without their wife, not telling them. So actually, at the end, you are not related to anything in this material sambandha, but they all were devotees, great. They all came from the spiritual world, all the Pandavas. So how they can view each other, not going together or anything, not telling anything, just walk out, So that's a really great thing, that at the end, you don't see anything, and just do what is the best for you, not like thinking about anything else from this material world. So that's it, Mataji. I don't want to say anything. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think when we fly on a plane, we are always instructed, put the mask on yourself first and then help anybody else. And this is probably where they picked it up. Somebody must have read Prabhupada's purport and come up with that. But that, I think, is the most important point in this purport, is that all of us have to take it. This is where our struggle is, right? Or do I take care of my responsibility? Do I take care of my service? This is always the struggle. And at the end, it has to be that we need to, the goal is that we need to go back to Godhead. We are, and if that is the goal, if that is the only goal, then there is only one way to do it. And we will have to, each one of us has to be responsible for our own journey. The other thing I was thinking is when you were going about, why does Draupadi have 5 husbands, and you were, trying to answer that for yourself. And I think that is also a very important point. We shouldn't get distracted with all of these things, and this is why I think Prabhupada is always insisting, read the Bhagavatam from the first canto, don't jump to, because that is beyond our understanding. It is tempting to go into those details, and it is important to understand. I'm not trying to minimize that we shouldn't understand why, but if I don't have the capacity, I better concentrate on what I have the capacity to understand.
Yeah.
So that speculation that we shouldn't go there, and stay focused on the goal and how to reach that goal. Stay focused on our service and how to better our service. Stay focused on Prabhupada's instruction, and your point about how these authorities were even rejected. When the instruction is not correct, we reject. So that takes a lot of intelligence. So, I mean, I'm just amazed at how every single word, sentence in Prabhupada's purport is filled with instruction for us to actually follow. I think we hear a lot of instructions. How much of it are we following? You asked yourself, when you read that Mukundamala Stotra, I am not quite there. That is what we need to focus on. How far have I come? How far do I need to go? What do I need to do to get there? It's me. We keep hearing, don't say my, but here it is me. What did I do? What more do I need to do? Is what very nicely, you tied it all very nicely together. I think, the point came across. And again, like you said, listening to Prabhupada at the very end is the nectar. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you very much.
I like that song. Can you send it to me?
I'll send it.
I like that meaning of the song. Very good.
Yeah. Mukundamala Stotra, like all slokas, like very wonderful.
That was very good. And I know I used to hear when I was young, but I don't know how far it is. When husband prays, half of the prayers goes to his wife.
That's
But
what
when
we're talking
wife
about.
prays,
I
wife
think
prays,
that might
everything
be
goes to
from
her.
the
I don't-
Karmakanda section. The explanation I was told is we use the word pativrata a lot in India.
Yeah.
So when the pati takes the vrata, and so we have confused ourselves. We take vrata to buy a house, buy a car, get a wife, get children and all that. But the vrata that the pati should take is to go back to Godhead. And the job of the wife is to help the husband complete his vrata. So because she does all the household duties and helps him, she's, not doing the vrata herself. And so I am assuming it is coming from that angle. That's why we don't hear it. That's why Prabhupada has not. That's why you couldn't find the reference. Again, that is the point I'm trying to make is let's not get distracted by that. Let us stay focused on what Prabhupada said. You've got to fly your plane yourself and get yourself delivered. So stay focused on that.
Yeah.
That was really good. Yesterday I was reading that second canto, Bhagavatam. In that also, Sukadeva Goswami tells, and then Parishit Maharaj was asking, he doesn't have that much time to listen to all those things. But still, Sukadeva Goswami says, you have to go through up to nine cantos. Then only you can go to 10th canto. So then you will understand fully what Krishna was saying, what is the thing. So you will know Supreme Personality of Godhead thoroughly. Then you can go to 10th canto. That's what Sukadeva Goswami also says that. So in that, a lot of things are there. These books, I don't know how much effort he took, Prabhupada, to write, to read and understand. It is taking long time, lifetime.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for a nice class.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Krishna Samanadaji.
I just want to say very nice class, really nice to hear
Thank
your story in a very nice way. But I'm beginning to think that by the time we will finish our canto 12, then we are going to be better devotee.
Yeah, but it will take lifetime.
I wish.
Lives and lifetime.
And it is going to answer the questions, many questions we always have.
We're still going in first canto.
No, we are doing good, one by one.
We'll go.
Yeah. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no other questions, we can end the class here. We'll meet again tomorrow morning at 7:50 for Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhobhya eva cha patitan pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother Shyamagori.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother Shyamagori.
Thank you,
Very
Mataji.
nice class.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.